Happy St. Patrick's Day to y'all. We're very happy to be here again. This is the Fun Show at Big TV, and this is the March 14th edition. And seeing it's as close to March 17th as we're gonna get. You know, it's an Irish thing. It's kind of interesting. My name's O'Reilly. You'd think I was very Irish. But March 17th, to me, is evacuation day.
That's funny.
You know?
No, I think you need to do the entire show.
The Irish are coming. The
accent.
Irish are coming.
I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute, the Jewish are coming. Okay.
I guess there were probably some Irish in the British Army.
I'd say there was some
Like that.
Irish. I met them over in a prison camp.
Okay.
Yeah,
Revolution-
Conroy.
Revolutionary soldiers. in
Well, I
the
didn't mean
British Army.
revolutionary, but I met a guy named Conroy, who was a gunner on one of the
Yeah.
bombers.
Well, you know, the thing is, you couldn't go off and join the Spanish army anymore by that time.
He was from Australia.
Yeah, but in around the time of the American Revolution, if you were Irish and you wanted a military career, you went to Spain
That's funny.
Yeah.
because it gave you the possibility of actually getting to kill Englishmen, which was useful.
Oh my goodness.
So here we are.
Here we
You
are.
got another song you're just itching to play?
No, I could. What? Give me one of those songs they were singing.
Well, you play Harrigan about this time.
Yeah, where's Harrigan? I was thinking about Harrigan the other day.
G.A.N. spells Harrigan, proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Devil a man can say a word again me. All right.
Okay.
That was great.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Excellent.
Happy
That
St.
was great.
Patrick's Day.
That was
The
very well
maestro
done.
behind the keyboard is our producer. and-
O'Sallon,
and Ed.
Michael O'Sallon.
Michael O'Sallon.
Fallon, O'Sallon.
Oh, Salon. I like
No,
that.
O'Sallon's good enough.
Okay.
I think so.
I always remember the first time I ran for office in Brookline, I lost to Bernard Edelstein.
A real
A
good
one-on-one
Irishman.
head-up
Okay.
thing. And a wonderful lady who would spent many years being important in Brookline by the name of Bernice Speen came up to me and said, "It's all right, young man. Next time, just change your name to Abel Rabinowitz and you'll be all set."
That's funny.
I'm Arch O'Reilly and not Abel Rabinowitz, and sitting between us is Kira Miner. And
Very
Olive-
Irish.
Believe it or not, is actually half
Irish
Yes, and Olive
is
OMG is in the control room,
Monitoring things.
assistant directing our show.
Yes.
Oh,
today,
okay.
I
What
think.
do we got? A bunch
we get a
of
big-
What's your
Behavior under
half
control.
Irish name?
Minor. Minor was my.
Miner was Irish?
I don't beats the heck out of me, but that's where it began. Minor, Ray. I'm sure if we look further back, they weren't Irishy sounding names. I'm sure at a certain point.
Okay.
I don't have the genealogy.
All right, we'll sit down with Ancestry sometime.
Yes.
We'll
I
figure it out.
actually have a book, and I could reference it.
You
I
know,
just
if
don't know
you-
off the top of my head.
If folks are interested in ancestry and they've been wanting to play and they do have Irish ancestors, there's a great deal on Ancestry at the moment. From
Yeah.
now till March 7th through March 17th, you can access their Irish genealogical records without paying the extra charge that you normally have
What
to
about
pay.
polygamists? Can they
What does
do?
that have to do
can
with
they?
anything?
Can they do?
From out of left field.
Michael Sallin is
Out
known
of left
worldwide as the Prince of Segways,
Great.
and he has outdone
And
himself.
that might have been a king move, a king
And,
of segways.
What if a
This,
guy? What if
this
a?
is not the segways you ride on. It's the ones that throw everybody. What about polygamists?
Yeah, there's a guy named Warren Jeffs who's in prison
Yeah.
for
Well,
he says-
actually, he's not really in prison for polygamy. He's in prison for child molestation.
for child rape, actually.
Because probably one of his child wives.
Well, one of
is
his
like
brides,
14,
yeah,
yeah. It was like
13.
12.
And
Yeah,
he's
some
getting
sort-
all this
I
mail.
guess I was
yeah.
giving him some more
So-
credit.
But he left Utah and the Mormons, and
The
he's on
thing
his
is,
own
now that we have gay marriage,
Yeah.
we are not going to be able to sustain monogamy legally for very much longer.
I don't know.
No, we're not.
That's an
We're
interesting
simply not.
thought.
I think we are, but you know, that's how I feel.
I think probably under the confines of the law, it's going to take a long time.
That's
before it'll
right.
change. Maybe
Yeah.
socially it'll change.
You know,
but
across
under
the world,
law,
we're talking about
Yeah,
there
I
are
mean-
But there's
six.
no legal basis for it.
Well, that's another argument. You caught me there.
No, there's absolutely no
No.
legal basis for it.
But do people get married because there's a legal basis for marriage?
Yes.
Well, you know what my position is. My position is it's time for government to get out of marriage.
I would get out
know,
of marriage.
Yeah.
okay.
Government
He has
should just
expressed this
wash its
before.
hands of marriage. And if you want a marriage-like relationship, go to a lawyer, write up an agreement, write up a thing, and it has nothing to do with government. If it's important to you to get married in your church, your synagogue, your temple, go ahead, by all means. I just want government out of marriage because in a world
Yes.
where less than half the families today are built around marriage, it serves no function from a governmental standpoint.
Yeah, I got that feeling in England too a lot when I was there the last several years.
People are not bothering to get married.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship for almost 16 years. I've been engaged for 5 of them.
Which is,
And I don't see myself getting married for another, 10, 15,
Okay.
20 years.
but I was,
That's
You
good.
know,
to,
that's-
Times have
I was
changed.
going to
That's
start
as long
looking
as
for
I
a
was
present
married.
for you. Okay, all
What?
right.
that's as long as I was married.
That's
What kind of
funny.
dishes
I
do
mean,
you want? You gotta, we gotta
16
Something
find
with a
years.
blue pattern.
Oh,
16 years.
Yeah.
a blue pattern. Okay.
Which is why it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Did you ever hear of Rawan Okasha?
No, I never heard of Rowan
Who's
Rokasha.
Rawan
Is he Irish?
Kasha lives in Gaza City, which is a
Okay,
strip
yes, I know where
in
Gaza
Israel.
City is.
and she
Did you hear
pushed
the way he said
aside
that in
the black
Israel?
curtains, her large lined eyes scanning the two-story theater packed with people. And then she did something no other woman has done in public in Gaza for nearly a decade. She began to sing. Oh, she was all
really?
covered up and
Really?
she was singing. Singing.
And it required a news article.
And
That's a big
her
deal.
family is very musical. They got people who play instruments and
Yeah.
groups. And anyway, she did it.
Excellent.
I feel I have a responsibility to continue singing for the sake of the women of my generation.
All
her.
the more reason he shouldn't have said in Israel.
Yes.
Oh.
Because if it was in Israel, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
Okay.
And how often do I say something nice?
I know. I mean, that's
And the protests fill the streets in Brazil.
regarding.
They have a president and a former president who have both been brought up on charges for corruption. Lula was the former, and I think her name is Rousseff is the new one, a woman.
Okay.
They've both been, unfortunately. There were 500,000 people that showed up for a protest.
That's really great timing with the Olympics coming up and stuff. But there again, we've
Yeah.
got Zika to worry about.
Yeah, you want to give them that title?
We've got Zika. We got Zika. You know, the mosquito that spreads Zika is exactly the same mosquito that spreads dengue and chikungunya. And we unfortunately do have those mosquitoes down in Quesohuaque, our sister city in
Oh, okay.
Nicaragua.
Well, how about the Lyme disease? You don't have those bugs down there.
I've never run into a tick in Nicaragua.
But good for you.
No.
Good. I'm glad to hear
And
that.
frankly, there's no deer either. So Lyme disease is probably not a big threat.
Well,
in
they got
Nicaragua.
those, what are they, lizards or something?
Iguanas.
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 Okay.
You
Keeps
keep
down-
saying lizard.
Well, they look like a lizard.
When I was in Nicaragua and suggested that an iguana was a lizard,
They take offense.
they were very offended.
What, you
No, not a lizard.
Because then they served you some of one of them.
Yes.
Yes, it was
Iguana.
chewy.
Iguana. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, you handed me a thing by our good friend Mike Dukakis here from
And
I assume-
Birmingham.
I assume a recent newspaper.
Yeah, today.
Wow.
And the title is interesting.
You're busy today.
It's Don't Know Much About History.
I like that title.
Remember that old rock and roll song? Don't know much about the math I took. Anyway, it starts out by, or it says in here, It's often said that what isn't tested isn't taught, and that appears to be the case when it comes to U.S. history. It is unfortunate how little
High school and
our
junior
students,
high
our students
yeah.
know. And it's not just an archaic degree of knowledge, because there's a lot of truth in what you don't know you're doomed to repeat.
Right. They don't know
You know?
civics, they don't know geography, and they don't know American history.
You know what they do know that makes everything okay? They know how to Google. And it's once you know how to Google, in the moment, you can get any answer you want. So it no longer has the same pressure to stuff your brain full of information because you have to carry it around with you everywhere you go.
Wait a second.
What's wrong with
That
stuffing your
sounds
brain?
nice.
There's nothing wrong
that
with
sounds
it.
nice,
But
and it's not true.
Okay?
Because you have to have a reason to want to Google the thing.
Okay.
Which means that you don't automatically make the connections. Somebody else has to make the connections between Dick Cheney and Aaron Burr
Okay.
to make you want to Google Aaron Burr.
Okay.
You know, and so it's not the same.
all
I
right.
don't think that you can find a kid under 20 who's not a history major
Right.
who has any idea who Aaron Burr was. And in one funny sense, Aaron Burr was the last vice president of the United States to shoot somebody.
So every time
Okay.
and
And
every,
I actually
connection.
knew his name just because we've talked about
This
that.
is the connection between Aaron Burr and Dick Cheney, you know.
All right.
Or as the man who wrote his biography said, the difference is Burr aimed. You know, so he was set. Incidentally, speaking of politics and violence, we are now coming to the fruition of the Donald Trump
tomorrow.
let's run on hate
Fiasco.
and vituperation and things.
So you say, idea.
Yes, and so
Okay.
you agree in spite of your pontificating. Item one, the reporter who was attacked by his campaign manager is filing suit.
Okay.
She and her colleague have resigned from the conservative news service they worked for because they didn't back him up. You
What were
know?
they looking for when you say back them up?
Well, the woman was assaulted by
Damages, damages.
Trump's-
So she
No.
wanted her company to do what?
Her company, after
To
being
support her.
harassed by the Trump campaign, said, well, it's probably not true.
Because
Okay.
Trump likes to sue everybody.
Even
He
though-
litigates everything.
Even though, you know, mainstream journalists have corroborated her story.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Gotcha.
here's the thing. Tomorrow is Florida and Ohio and a couple of other states.
Yeah.
Florida and Ohio are relatively critical because they're the home states
And lots of
of
people.
Marco, or as Trump would say, little Marco, Rubio,
Little Marco.
and John Kasich, who's the governor of Ohio. John Kasich, in the last poll I saw, is very marginally leading Donald Trump in Ohio. If Donald Trump loses Ohio, he probably will fizzle out. And if he wins both of them, he probably will be the nominee. And hooray, hooray, destroy the Republican
Exactly.
Party.
You like that?
Yeah, I'm actually prepared, and I'm going to write down my prediction and put it in an envelope that we can open after, 10 years from now.
And I'm saying he's going all the way.
No, you're not.
Yes, I
No,
am.
you're
You're
not.
going to wait 10 years? Do you know who's on this show with you?
Fine.
Yeah, not me. Now,
I can't think in those
Trump,
terms.
Trump had a television show. You're fired. He used
Yes.
to. Now,
Yeah.
now it's
It's
called
actually
"Get Him
called-
Out." Get him out.
Get him out, get him out.
The show is actually called
New
The
York
Apprentice.
Times. Get him out. Okay. Now, are we
The show
ready?
was actually called The Apprentice. His catchphrase was,
And
"You're
then
fired."
it was called the Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what he is.
Yeah,
An
that's
apprentice celebrity.
Exactly.
That's what
Okay.
he is. It's a little early,
It's a
but if you
game.
really want to go,
Is it
if
time?
you really
Well,
want to
it's
go,
about 40 seconds.
ladies
too
and
soon.
gentlemen,
But it's a longer play, so
Michael is in charge, and it is their
I'm not
time.
in charge.
you are.
I'd like to
You're
be
the
in charge.
producer.
You
You
You're
two
the man.
run the show better than I do.
Not even close.
Okay.
We're
And we're
just
going to
filler.
fill the time so it'll be more on my schedule than on
Oh,
your
okay.
schedule. In any
I'll play
case,
an Irish song.
It is now, it is now time for the BIG, Unrehearsed
I didn't
Thespian
move my clock
Societies.
back. I don't know. Forward.
really?
You're supposed
Yeah.
to spring forward.
It's surprising you're here then.
That's right.
Or if you moved it back, you'd show up at 9. But
That's what I was hoping.
in any case, this classic, we had to light the carbon arc lamps borrowed from a 1932 coal mine in West Virginia and go deep into the archives.
Coal miners haven't been paid in China, in case you didn't know. All right, go ahead.
That was a
All right, that chopped them.
That was
Segue.
segue.
Okay.
Segue.
Anyway, this one is entitled Impasse.
Impasse.
And comes from 2003.
2003, everybody
17th.
out there.
Actually, March 17th,
Actually,
2003.
St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Yes.
That's why I pulled it out.
So this is
Interesting.
in a real sign of good fortune. This is a 13th anniversary edition production of Impasse.
Excellent.
Wish we could take him out.
Who?
Of course.
Take him out where?
I'm fed up hearing about him.
You've lost me.
Nothing new there.
Saddam.
So?
Why are we even answering her?
Because he's a friend. She's a friend.
That's reassuring.
How about Iraq?
Who's he?
Oh, is he a country?
She is a country. Motherland.
Where are we going with this?
Could be fatherland.
But America is our homeland.
Okay. Let's just agree.
All right. Let's get back to Iraq.
It rhymes.
I'm not much on geography.
It's near Asia.
Wait, that's a song. I'm not much about geography. Okay. It's
Like China?
okay. Oh yeah, not exactly though.
Well, the Taliban did blow up those ancient Buddhas there.
We went to war against them.
Not the Buddhas.
Don't patronize me.
If we could just hit Saddam.
Assassination can be a foreign policy, I suppose.
But we're the good guys.
But Saddam is a real baddie.
We don't just kill people because we don't like them.
It's been all over the papers for months.
I don't read newspapers.
Why?
Too many words.
That's what my son-in-law says. You could get news from your TV or radio.
Got rid of them. Time consuming. Same for books.
No books? No magazines?
No interruptions. Kids are doing homework.
But Iraq is current events in school.
All that paper and books. Dust collectors.
The whole rest of the country is debating this.
I work hard and my husband takes care of the kids.
So you're not interested in what's happening.
My family is my #1 priority.
Do you understand this killer could blow up the entire world?
He's there. I'm here.
He could start a plague with anthrax.
My husband and kids could be in danger.
Absolutely.
What about evidence?
Now we're getting someplace.
He's threatened to attack us.
He's part of the terrorist plots.
They're tying him into 9/11.
Good heavens, that's dreadful.
Not so indifferent now, huh?
Their school is having a field trip.
Saddam is bad news for all of us.
Yep, the principal should definitely cancel it.
Not so calm now, eh? Yes, but what about the UN?
They've got inspectors busy hunting.
I think I should call the PTA.
It's not that simple, my dear.
What have they discovered?
He's had years to hide everything.
Is Superintendent Gorski aware of all this?
You mean Blix?
Gorski was just hired this summer.
Oh,
Well, maybe Gorski is Blix's new assistant.
Sorry, but it can't be.
Gorski, Blix, what's the difference?
My kids would know the difference.
Why?
He's the new superintendent of schools.
Listen, Saddam has deadly bacteria, poison gas, nuclear bombs.
But that's inhuman.
That isn't human. Who said he was normal?
We're dealing with an unstable nutcase.
Well, if that's the case,
In spades, kiddo.
then what is the president waiting for?
By George, I think she's got,
Got it. I'd like to congratulate you, Kyle, on your cogent analysis.
Still, these things take time.
Oh, you mean now you're backing off?
Innocent until proven guilty.
That's her with this guy.
Everybody has rights.
And in Iraq, you have the right to get a bullet in the head.
And another unmarked grave in the desert.
That's hyperbole.
But we've got the goods on him.
Him?
Saddam.
Oh yeah, Saddam, around the bend.
You remember that foreign country, Iraq?
Yeah, got it. Good. Go on.
We never discuss world affairs here.
Why should we?
Your father was a World War II vet.
And I was called up for Vietnam.
I spent 2 years as a nurse in a hospital
In Japan.
on a U.S. military base.
And what's that got to do with it?
I stayed on the base.
You didn't do any sightseeing?
Too busy with the wounded GIs.
And what about Desert Storm?
George Sr. was president,
Correct.
and everyone joined in with us.
Here we go.
And it only lasted a couple of days.
Saddam was left in charge again.
But we bombed the heck out of them first.
So what?
All that cost big bucks.
Our allies helped pay for most of it.
What about this time?
Well, George Sr. was a little more persuasive.
Now hold on.
I'm mixed up.
Look, we take Saddam out first, and then we worry about paying the bills later.
Yes, but who pays?
Probably we do.
That means higher taxes.
That is the price of freedom.
But I'm already free.
It's the people of Iraq we're talking about.
Isn't that their business?
Finally,
Saddam won't let it be.
How do you know?
if you disagree with him,
You disappear.
That's rotten.
Well, they just had a presidential election.
Well, that's good.
and everybody voted.
See? That's democracy.
But he was the only candidate.
Nobody else?
Would you run against him?
If I was the leader of the other party.
There isn't any.
But this is 2003.
Not in Iraq.
What about Cuba?
Well, they had Castro for the last 40 years.
And if you're unhappy, you can swim to Miami.
I don't think that's funny.
The Sharks do. You'd be right on top of their menu.
Try escaping from North Korea or starving.
Another communist country?
Yeah, Iran is an Islamic republic ruled by an Ayatollah.
Next door to Iraq.
So we're back to Saddam.
And our military are prepared to attack.
Without international backing, I might say.
I guess you've helped me, guys.
Well, that's what friends are for, little one.
Well, what about your family?
They don't trust them.
Then there's that anti-war demonstration.
It's a free country.
If one of your kids was sent to fight,
I can't answer.
Well, we think George W. is right.
and his advisors have made a strong case.
That's fine. And thanks for filling me in.
But you still won't commit.
I'm an American citizen and I stand for the flag.
That's good enough for me.
But it sure took long enough.
Still, we did listen to each other peacefully.
Blackout.
Yay!
Hey.
Very good.
Very
Excellent.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Very
you.
good.
I read her
Excellent.
line, she read mine just like that.
I
Really
knew it.
good.
We didn't
Good.
miss a
That's
beat.
good.
Really, really good. And nobody out there even noticed.
No,
but-
not till you
but I
pointed it out
noticed.
to everybody.
Does anybody out
I
there?
pointed out my mistake, not yours.
To everybody. It was my, well, it didn't matter. You didn't have to point out
It was-
any
it was my
mistake.
mistake.
You didn't even have to point
Does-
it out.
does-
No.
Does anybody out
Mistakes
there
and
know about
covers are
who?
the real ideal of theater.
Travis Shaw. He
Travis
works for
Shaw?
the Red Sox. Does anybody know who he is?
No, absolutely not.
You must be
He's a
part of the
guy that can
conversation.
play first base and third base, base.
Base.
That's good because they're paying $189 million to two fat slobs to play first base and third base. It's good to know that there's a guy sitting in the dugout who could be playing instead of them and who will never see the field unless they're injured.
And never get that kind of money in the rest. And in all his life, he won't. I don't think.
I may have exaggerated.
Serious.
No,
but
66 and 73 or something millions. Each one gets. Each
Wow.
gets.
yeah.
I
It's
guess.
like winning the lottery.
Remember last week I said their infield looks like the defensive line of the Patriots?
That's right. It's
well,
true.
those are the two biggest guys in the
Okay.
whole
Okay.
group.
All right. Well, there you are. And
Travis Shaw, huh?
Travis
Who's Travis?
Shaw.
Oh,
You know,
that's
we
him.
ought to form a Travis Shaw
Club.
fan club.
Well,
Yes.
he's
would be
hitting
cool.
better than everybody on the Red Sox. And then they got that guy that they paid $220 million to.
Mr. Price?
Yeah, he got.
Mr. Price was a bit pricey.
He came in the first game, a double, first batter, home run, second batter, home run, third batter. That's a heck of a beginning for a guy making over $200 million.
The thing is, in baseball, contracts are sacrosanct. You know, the thing is in football,
Well,
they can cut you and not pay you. But
I like Commissioner Goodell. I don't care what anybody says. He's a wonderful man with a great smile, and $40 million a year he gets. That's terrific.
That's all you need is someone with a great
very,
smile.
very close to the most corrupt human being in the United States of America.
You don't have a problem with that?
Not with what he just said. I don't have a problem with it, though. I think it's we
if
live in
people
a
are
country
corrupt?
where you
It's
get
all right
what you,
as long as you get the money.
as long as you
Nice.
deserve it or don't deserve it, you get it. He's getting it. He's doing good. I don't know how Bob Kraft thinks about that, but
Well, Roger Goodell deserves his money just slightly less than Kim Kardashian deserves hers.
There you have it.
okay. Well, what have I got here?
Wait, it's my turn.
Incidentally, do you know who I'm absolutely sick and tired of?
Donald Trump.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
You were tired of that before it even began, though.
Yeah,
Well,
but now
but
that she is a foul-mouthed, vocal supporter of Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay.
You're extra
We
done.
got something better.
Well, I just wanted to acknowledge the oldest female veteran has passed away
World War
at
II.
age 108.
Yeah.
World War II veteran. Her name was Elise Dixon, Washington, D.C. She was at a living center, but we want to acknowledge that
She's a terrific
she
woman.
set the bar at 108.
And she was overseas
Veteran of
also.
What
the
else do you
Women's
know about
Army
her?
Corps in World War II, and on top of all the rest of it, considering 1941,
Which was a little
she
different
was
time.
an African American woman.
Okay. I didn't
And-
want to forget another. I knew there was something else about her.
And,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was interesting.
She was
And
affectionately called the Queen Bee.
good.
Okay.
That indicates to me that she had a good life, and I like that.
I think so.
I like
I
that.
like
that
that.
makes me happy.
You
She's
like-
a very
all right,
stylish, put
okay.
together woman. They said she never left a room without putting a full face of makeup
You're
on.
talking about in the nursing home?
Yeah, saying that she was not going to be stopped.
If I ever end up in a nursing home, they're going to make it a requirement that I never leave the room without a makeup person.
Oh,
You know,
you
without,
got kids. You're not going there.
there's all these articles in the paper day after day. How are we for time, doctor?
What's that? Keep going. We got 7 minutes.
Okay, we got
We do not
we got
have
all
7
at,
minutes. We
at
have
this
3 minutes.
at Boston Latin School. We got all
Okay,
these
we have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. They got all these
7 minutes.
accusations about
There's a 7 up
that the
there.
administration isn't doing anything about race relations there. There's these young black women.
Oh, the thing about the Latin school?
Yeah, it's too bad.
It's too bad because it's very hard to know what's right. It's very hard to know if there's overreaction going on, and even the people who
we have to sing.
even the people who are complaining acknowledge that this director has done a very good job academically.
Yeah,
at the
Chang
school.
said, the superintendent said she's done a good
I think we're
job.
out of time. We have to sing to Irene. Look, it looks like it's
All right.
30 seconds.
Go ahead.
You could keep going, but who knows?
Good night,
Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody, from the Fun Show here at Big TV.
Lovely.
I think Michael actually changed the key on us tonight.
Did he?
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't,
what
I
was
honestly, I
going
don't really
on.
listen. I just listen to us.
Yes.
I do, because if I don't, he'll distract me with his unique style of playing.
His unique style.
Yes,
All right.
you know.
I will not be here next week, folks, so be sure to tune in and see the real people get a word in edgewise.
You know what? I don't even know that we're going to be here without him. If he's not here, you know.
It'll be hard. Somehow we'll
You
overcome
think
it.
we'll do it?
Olive
do it.
will
We'll
be
do it.
sitting in this seat.
She
As
just
far as
might be. She
Olive will be
just
sitting
might
in
be.
this seat.